All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going to talk about something that really affects every single one of us. I'm talking about the courage it takes to just use your voice, to speak up and make sure you're heard in situations both big and small.
So what do a topping pen and a dangerous secret have in common? I know, it sounds a little bit like a riddle, right? But the answer, well, it connects those little, everyday frustrations with some of the absolute toughest moments a person can ever go through. And believe me, that connection, it might not seem obvious at first, but it is so powerful. Okay, so picture this. You're trying to work, trying to focus, and it starts with this little sound, something you barely even notice at first. But then, there it is, that constant, rhythmic tap, tap, tap of a pen. And it just starts to drill its way right into your brain.
Or hey, maybe for you, it's not the pen. Maybe it's that loud, you can't miss it slurp of coffee, right? First thing in the morning. It's a small thing for sure, but it's there every single day. You just can't get away from it.
And oh, we can't forget this one, the coworker who treats the office like their personal living room for phone calls. You end up knowing their entire life story, right? Not because you're trying to eavesdrop, but because, well, you literally have no choice but to listen. Look, any one of these things on its own, it's just an annoyance. No big deal. But when it's day after day after day, they start to pile up. And pretty soon you catch yourself thinking, or maybe even muttering under your breath, this is driving me crazy. And you know what? There's actually a name for this feeling. It's called accumulated anger. It's basically all that pressure that just builds up inside when we don't say anything about those little frustrations. It's like every time we stay silent, we're just adding another brick to the wall. And then, one day, bam, it just bursts. Maybe the person who's been tapping that pen forever says something about your phone calls. And all that anger you've been storing up, it all comes rushing out in one single phrase. You've got to be kidding me. And that's it. The dam has officially broken. So where do you go from there? What happens next? Well, you've basically got a couple of options. You could go the forgive and forget route, a total reset. Or you could just call a truce, a simple agreement to just stop. But here's the thing. Notice what both of those paths need. Communication. It all comes back to having the courage to actually say something. Okay, let's just pause here for a second because we need to shift gears. The courage it takes to say something about a tapping pen, that's one thing. But some conflicts, some secrets, they aren't small at all. They're heavy, and sometimes they're downright dangerous. So what happens when speaking up just feels impossible? I mean, what do you do when the fear of not being believed, the fear of what might happen next, the fear of the shame is so big, so overwhelming, that staying silent feels like your only choice, your only safe place? This is where a young woman named Sarah's story begins. She was just 17, and she was at her grandmother's house, a place that's supposed to be the safest in the world, right? She wakes up in the middle of the night, hears her door opening, and she whispers out into the dark, thinking it's her grandmother. But nobody answered. After a terrifying encounter, this deep fear just took hold of her, and it's a fear that silences so many people. It's that internal battle, right? That voice in your head asking, will they even believe me? Or will they say I'm making it up? Will they blame me? That fear, it's like being in a prison. But then something shifted. She looked at her younger cousins, so innocent and unaware, and a completely different kind of fear washed over her. A fear that was even stronger than her own. The fear that if she stayed quiet, something could happen to them. And in that exact moment, her courage wasn't just about her anymore. It came from this incredible, powerful need to protect them. So what did she do? Her first step wasn't some big, loud declaration. It was just the quiet sound of a pen on paper as she wrote her story down in a notebook. And when her mother found it, there were no questions, no doubt. Just two things that can absolutely change a person's world. A hug and the words, I will always believe you. And this is just so important. The next step, her father, he completely reframed the whole thing. He took all that shame she was carrying and he put it right back where it belonged, on the perpetrator. He made it crystal clear that this wasn't about shame, it was about justice, that staying silent would only end up hurting more people. And you can see right here how it all connects. It's like a chain reaction of courage. Step 1, she spoke up. That led to step 2, her parents believed her.
That belief then led to step 3. The family took action. And that action kicked off step 4. The long road to justice began. Every single link in that chain is absolutely crucial, but none of it happens, it all falls apart without that very first step. So, let's circle all the way back to that riddle from the beginning. What do a tapping pen and a dangerous secret have in common? Well, here it is. Whether we're talking about everyday courage, asking someone to please stop slurping their coffee, or profound courage, reporting a terrible injustice, both of them start in the exact same place. They begin with a choice, the choice to speak. And if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Courage isn't some magical quality you either have or you don't. Think of it like a muscle. It actually grows when you use it. The very act of speaking up, of finding your voice, that's what builds the courage you need for the next time and the time after that. And that really brings us to the most important point of all. Think about it. Sarah's incredible courage could only lead to justice because someone was there, ready to listen and believe her. So, I guess I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Who in your life needs you to be that person? Who needs to know deep down that if they ever find the courage to speak their truth, you'll be the one to look them in the eye and say, I believe you.